I did end up testing this out a little bit, so you'll see here. I do have CFA open. Oh, I didn't save the deck, so now you guys won't believe me. So let's jump into some of the news from this morning. I don't think there was anything else other than this Thursday stream. But we have this baby, and not gonna lie, this might be my favorite Dragon Empire starter out of all of them. And that's not saying much because they all kind of suck ass, if I'm being honest. If we take a look at these starters, right, we ain't got the best options. Like, it's just fucking Trickstar, and then 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 Trickstar, right? And then it's an egg, a Q egg, and then fucking another egg, right? We got fucking Bart. Bart's like fine, but the fact that he's like a Eugene card puts him down here somewhere. This guy, Lizard Runner, I forget how they say it in the anime, Lizard Runner Undux, or whatever the hell, he's like fine. This thing, I hate this thing, honestly. The only, aside from the fact that I got a like a fucked up copy of this starter, that's the reason why I didn't play like Gandiva with the Buff Saga line. But it's just because like I hate this thing. He looks so ugly. I remember different fights saying it once in like a stream or something. They're like, oh yeah, it looks really cool. What is this man's talking about? That thing look ugly. I don't even know what I'm looking at, bro. It looks like a fucking bird. That's not even a dragon, bro. That's a bird. Long ass neck ass dragon. Get out of here with that. My Trickstar and these French. You're right. I should make an F tier. You're right. A tier below F. And we'll put Trickstar there because he's friend shaped. And he's also technically not a starter. But you can technically viably play him as included him here. Put the encounters at F-. No, since I know you love encounters, we're gonna put them up here because I actually do like the encounter ones. These are fine. I'll never use them, but these are fine. Trick Moon, he goes with Trickstar, right? Tamayura is probably the best one, honestly, out of these. This motherfucker drunk, so like he can go down there. This one I kind of liked because I like bows and arrows and stuff, but he can't Diva, so like he gets booted down here. Shiranui can eat my ass. This little fella, he kind of cute, not gonna lie. This little fella, he can go here. I'll probably never use him, so he'll probably go in this tier where like I actually like this starter, but I just never use it. Beaver Blonde. And then this guy, I actually kind of really like the Varga starter because like the only other one that I actually like. Anyways, yeah, this is like A tier right here. This looks great. It's a fucking Red Yoshi. It's another egg, but fine. Next up, we got Flame Blade Drag Ritter Gry. This has the same skill as the Grade 2. It just says if you have the previous version of it in the soul, you don't have to discard for ride. Overall, that's pretty cool. In general, I feel like a lot of people instantly saw the first skill and just didn't. They didn't do the like Bushiroad thing where like instantly. Where the fuck even is it? It didn't instantly like do the thing where it just lays out all the answers for you and it's like, oh, this is a good deck. I think this is actually pretty solid. The fact that you, one, you don't even have to play cyclers, right? Because you don't have to discard at all. You don't get the draw, so you don't get to dig into your deck, but you also don't lose anything from your hand. And you have the deck space to play other stuff. So I think that's kind of neat. It has this second skill that we'll get back to later because it'll make sense in context with the Grade 3. But then we have here the Grade 2, which says the same exact thing. This is a dragon. This is Synchro Heart Dragon. Andra and Gaira. They synchro summon into Synchro Shokan into Drag Connector. Draiandra. And he looks like fucking cool ass Flameswordsman looking dude. Because very much, pretty much Luan all over again. Big fan of him. Because it's literally, you know, Graya finds Andra as a baby, they bond and shit, becomes a swordsman or whatever the fuck, this becomes like a dragon or whatever the fuck, and then they fucking, I don't know why everyone's saying synchro, but they literally fuse together. But the part that I think people are really harping on is its effect, and its effect is actually kind of cool if you give it some time and read it. It says, at the beginning of your main phase, rest the Vanguard. Now, hold on. Hold on a minute. I know. Hold on. Let's finish reading the text. Rest your Vanguard, choose the grade 1 and grade 2 from your soul, and then call them out to rear. And then this guy says that whenever the dragon attacks, the grade 2, you put both of them back into soul, and then you stand him, front row gets plus 10k. Flavor-wise, it makes 100,000,000% how this effect works, because it's essentially, you got Graia, you got Andra, they fuse together, they become this. They disengage, they can't attack. They ain't shit by themselves, right? And then they come back together, you restand, you're more powerful. Makes perfect sense. I very much want to try this when it comes out on area. It's already in area, actually. I also find it hilarious that you can play the order in Overlord, Varga, or Eugene as well. You can play it in every Dragon Empire deck. We'll get to that next. I think I have that here. That order is absolutely insane, but we'll get to that next. You can literally play that in every Dragon Empire deck and use 2 really good order support cards, and the 2.5 really good order support cards, and like it just boosts up every single deck. It's insane. So what you do with this is that the grade 1 says at the beginning of your battle phase, you choose the grade 2, give it 10k, and it can attack from the back row, and then this gets 5k if you have this guy, right? So this is a 30k 4th attack in this deck. That's already pretty solid. And then you put them back into soul, and your Vanguard restands 10k power. This is not locked to going second or anything like that, so you can very easily swing with Persona Ride numbers on your first grade 3 turn. Pretty good. And you get 4 attacks. But yeah, so then let's talk about this insane order over here. Bring Shura back before giving 10k to the front row. Yeah, but that's a Counterblast 3 play. So because this thing says choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets the ability that when it restands, or when it stands, I should say, not restands. When it stands, all of your front row units get plus 10k. I can see it played in Varga, sure, but you know, you retire your front row, you really don't use Shura every single turn because it's way too much Counterblast, right? Not to mention you need Counterblast for the Divine skill. You have literally no way to countercharge. You could only use the Divine skill, like, presumably on turn 4. Because you have to be at 4 damage, and I think they specifically have to be also on grade 3. So you're never doing this on... I mean, maybe you could do it on your first grade 3 turn, but probably not. So by then, you've already counterblasted once. So to do all of that and play an order and have like Shuras, it sounds like a bit much just for 10k. But this order is insane because it's common, and it's a free normal order. This is free, no costs, no nothing. You can just play this, it activates. So it supports a lot of the cards that say if you played an order this turn, 2 of which are actually pretty solid, such as the you can use her, which is really insane. So it instantly activates her. You don't have to pay anything for any of these other orders. Just instantly play her. She can search it as well, so you can use it again next turn. Maybe she's a 10k attacker, so she's not as great, but she just very easily Soul Blast, call something out. So that's insane. But you can also use it with the card that we may never even get, Shinri here, because she also says, or if you played an order this turn. So you can very easily use this to have a 13k booster, put it into Soul, get Soul, and then draw a card. So that instantly activates both of those, and you still get the effect for majority of Dragon Empire that if you restand, your front row gets 10k. Let's take a look at the weakest card of this set of cards here. So this says when it attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Andra, so you can actually use this on turn 2. I forgot about that. So this has the same clause as Luan, where it has both the name Graia and Andra, so you can use whatever skill that asks for either of them with this card. So you can use this on turn 2. It becomes a 10k booster attacker. So this is a little bit better actually. And then you CB1, you can retire one of your opponent's grade 1 or less back row cards. Kind of sucks that it's specifically grade 1 or less since it's already in the back row to begin. But it doesn't have to hit, it just has to attack. So this isn't horrible. Now that I look about it, this is alright. And then let's take a look at the grade 2 here, the board card. This one's pretty solid because of the fact that there is no need for the ride cycle cards. You can technically still use them to guard, right? The new ones that use energy or counterblast. Because this deck is generally counterblast light. If you don't use this, then you're only supposed to counterblast is this. So you can do that, guard, draw a card if you want. But if not, you can use this that says on place, energy blast 3, draw a card. All right. Then it says when either Gyra, or Andra. Attacks. If your opponent's grade 3 or greater, this gets 5k. I don't know if this counts twice because he has both names or something like that, but no, it probably doesn't, but it probably gets power from this guy, and then it gets power again from this guy. So this actually becomes pretty beefy. Yeah, it's not once per turn. This needed like a good attacker. That one's pretty alright. And the last card we have here is the Cannonball of Duststorm Zaxxas, who has nothing to do with Eugene. So I don't know why his name is Duststorm. At the beginning of the battle phase, Counterblast 1. Choose either the dragon, choose any of the Rideline essentially, and it gets 5k power, and then you draw a card. So this is really good because that's how I think you get this to 30. So this becomes 15. This gives it 10, so it becomes 25, and then you can use this to give it another 5, so it's 30k. From the back row, consistent every single turn that you can use to poke your opponent. Always get 4 attacks. So really nice. Then this says when either of any card from the Rideline attacks, if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, this gets plus 5k. So same thing as the grade 2, where he just gets big. So what we have here is a deck that has a pretty cool mechanic, has a lot of good flavor in it. It has 4 attacks, put its rear guards back into soul to then power up its front row to get 23k, 10k Persona Ride buff to your whole front row. Then you do have some scaling with your rear guards that if your opponent's on grade 3, so if either it's turn 4, you went second, they get another 10k, which is kind of big. So these guys get a total of, they can get a total of 20k plus on a turn. Both this guy and this guy, right? And that's not counting Persona Ride. And that's not counting this this crazy ass order. So they can get a total of 40 plus, right? So if you play this order, use this skill, call these two out, attack with this guy, your opponent's on grade 3, this guy and this guy, they get 5k. Then this guy puts them into soul, these two, and then he gives the front row another 10k, so that's 15k. Then the order activates because your Vanguard stood, so that's another 25k. If you're on Persona Ride, that's 35k. And then if this guy attacks, these both get another 5k, so that's a total of 40k. So this guy's swinging in for 50, and this guy's swinging in for 53. Pretty good numbers, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. So let's go ahead and just take a look at CFA, because the CFA gods have blessed us today. Like I said, I tested this a little bit earlier, so I actually already have a build in mind. I just did not save the actual deck, so I have to build it again. But it's essentially, as we've kind of seen from set 1, it's just 5 of everything, or 4 of everything in the deck, and whatever other generics you can grab. We're gonna throw in the new order. We're gonna throw in the grade 2. I don't think I'll play the grade 1. Instead, we'll play her, because like this can draw and this can draw. Playing a draw for yourself if you want is not so bad, because like you already have so much power that the front might not even be necessary, but the shield value is nice, so it can honestly, I feel like it can go either way. Let's do draws, because I did fronts and it felt kind of redundant. Something that you can do, there's a lot of other funny interactions that I considered, but I already have so many grade 3s, so you can actually use this common from set 11 that lets you put back in order, and he gets 10k, so he becomes 23. If you played the order already, he'll become 43 that same turn. So that's kind of big, and that could be on your opponent being on turn 2, right? Because you can attack if you played an order. You put one from your drop on the bottom of your deck, he gets 10k, he becomes 23. This guy restands, gives 10k to the front row again. So this becomes 33. Then if you play the order, he gets another plus 10. So this becomes 43. And you just did that for free. For free, for nothing. So this is really good, but I just have too many grade 3s already because I'm running this guy in the order. So I don't know if I really want to do that, because then I was also doing something where I could play for Biddledal to get this and this out, which is kind of nice. Something I might consider. I don't know, but then you can't use this as much. I think I ended up doing 3 of this because you can't really play it, you know, until turn 3. You want to see it, but you can use her to try and see it, honestly, which kind of sucks because of the fact that it is kind of hard to use her because you have to wait until turn 3, which kind of sucks. Oh, I was also playing this thing too, Defensive War. I think I was playing like 2 Defensive War Yeah, I think my build was 2 defensive roar, 2 of the cycle card, and then just 3 of the Sonya, which can be, you know, I guess Brachio Force or whatever you want. And I know you guys really like Brachio Force in every Dragon Empire deck, so you can play that, I guess. You can use him and then use his order to retire. But that order is Soul Blast 1, so you have to use her or Soul Blast out the starter, or if you Persona Road or something like that. Honestly, you probably don't want too many grade 1s because of the fact that these 2 take up 2 of those slots. So probably having her and the fact that she disappears works extremely well with this deck, to be honest. And that's probably why they made this whenever it attacks, so you can actually move it up and it just becomes 10k. Yeah, fuck it, we'll do this. Just because it's cool interaction, and that's all this game should be about. 2 Sonyas. I wish I could play something else. I just can't really see or think of anything. And then we'll play a Forbidden Doll. Just cuz. Just cuz.
Hey, it's Curly, and we've got ourselves a CFA replay here. I'm using a Draiandra here against Flameswordsman. This match is going to be pretty wonky because I do a bunch of misplays here, but you get to see how the deck works, and then I have a couple other matches after this that I hope to fit in, where you get to see the deck work a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and discard the draw trigger immediately, get the energy quest because I went second, and then I can use the Shinri's skill to actually get 5k and become a nice strong column here. Since I'm playing against Flameswordsman, I fucked up and forgot that I can actually play out the over trigger here and then force that over trigger to go back into my deck, but I don't actually do that until like turn 3. They're going to go ahead and get only 1 order here from the top 7 and then swing in. I'm going to go ahead and guard this. They're going to check a front, and that's fun because we guard the attack. Since I have the grade 0 on my soul, I can ride for free here. We're going to play Shinri yet again in order to swing in. She gets 5k since my opponent has 1 or less rear guards. Then she goes to soul and I draw a card. Once again, forgot to play down the over trigger. They're going to go ahead and go into their full Flameswordsman turn here. Get the trick entry, play the Crispina, take another quick trick entry, use that to draw and counter charge, then use the final trick entry to get the stagger from drop, use that skill to Soul Blast. Look at the top 5. Instead of adding a card, a unit, they're going to add the trick entry, and they're going to play another Crispina here. They're not going to use the skill because they cannot. They need the counter blast here for the Flameswordsman. They have 5 in drop, so the front row is going to get plus 10k, and they're also going to give a crit to the Stegria. I'm going to no guard here and take this attack. We're going to take 2 damage here. The Crispina is going to swing in for 23. I'm going to take that as well, hit a draw trigger here. Then we're going to be able to finally guard the Stegria with the crit. Our turn is going to go up next. We don't have to discard. We're going to go then ride into our Draiandra here, and then you can see I forgot in main phase that you have to rest Draiandra, but I did call out the 2 units. So we're going to call out the Sonya here, Sonya, as well as the Golem here. Use the Golem skill to draw and then call out a column here with the Sonya. And then we're going to use the Sonya skill to Soul Blast and actually be able to get the 10k. I'm going to decide to not play the grade 1 and instead put the over trigger finally so I can put that back in the deck later on. We're going to go ahead and use the skill here, going to battle phase. At the beginning of the battle phase, the grade 1 rests itself to then give the grade 2 an additional to 10k power, and it gets 5k from its own skill, and it can attack from the back row here. We're going to go ahead and swing in here. Since my opponent is on grade 3, my Golem is going to get power. Then after that, my both units in the back row are going to go into Soul, and my Vanguard will stand, giving the front row 10k power. Golem's going to get another 5k because a Graia or Andra is attacking. We're going to attack with the Golem for 30 and attack in with Sonya here. They're going to be able to guard using that card that gets 5k for every 3 card you have, every trick or treat you have in your drop. I'm going to finally be able to put back the over trigger, but it's a little way too late for that. I have a pretty decent hand here, but we're going to do a big chunky wongy misplay next turn that's going to cost us the entire game here. They're going to go into their standard finale turn here, do their orders, do their thing. Going to go ahead and swing and counter blast. I have a total of 8 orders in the drop right now, so that's going to be a nice fat 16k to the front row. They're going to go ahead and check double crit as well, and we're basically Dunzo here. The Stagger is going to swing in here with 3 damage and 59k. I take a moment to decide how I want to play this out because I really wanted to try and use the defensive war, maybe bounce the grade 2 back to hand, but I just figured the power is way too big. I'm just going to go ahead and use the PG and then go ahead and use the card to guard the other one. Unfortunately here I forgot to Persona Ride, which was the big huge chunky wongy misplay here, which would have made this so much better, and I could have actually used this card to also actually get a crit, so we would have had a much bigger massive turn here, but I totally flubbed the ball here. But we're just going to go into the usual Andra stuff. Back row is going to power up the middle column, then that's going to attack, that's going to go to soul. Front was going to get a 10k, and then we're going to swing in with our rears. Had we gotten the Persona Ride, we would have won the game. As you can see by the hand here, it's just shieldless cards after my assault here, so that would have been an extra 10k plus a crit on this side here. They're going to go ahead and again use their usual vanilla stuff, play their orders, get their grade 2, that gets them back the Stegra here. Then they're going to go to battle, swing in with the Fennel, and you know, counterblast 1, and everything is just going to get huge. It's going to get plus 22. I'm just going to no guard because it does not matter. Alright, so we got another match here. This time it's against Luan. This is actually a rematch. I faced off against my opponent here, but lost the first time around. We're going to go first. We're going to go ahead and play our energy counter. Opponent's going to go ahead and do their Luan thing here. Then they're going to go ahead and swing in here for 8. We're going to go ahead and decide to just take this here. Typically, you can kind of get away with not guarding, so you don't need any counterblast for this deck, but we're just going to go ahead and take it. We're going to go ahead and ride. We don't have to discard for ride, but unfortunately, I don't have the Shinri here to make that really huge, massive 23k column into my opponent's face here, while they're still on 8 grade 1 here. As you can see, my opponent has this massive hem, which will be basically the theme throughout this entire game. They're going to get a massive amount of resources, and it's going to be an uphill battle for me to try and get through this. They're going to go ahead and play the star of this build of the deck here, which is going to be the dog here. This dog here just says if you have more rear guards than your opponent, or if you play it in order, at the end of the battle that it attacks, you can retire it. Look at the top 2, put 1 in your hand, put the other 1 in the bottom of your deck, and also it gets 5k when it boosts. So they're going to go ahead and play 2 of these and basically amass an entire board. I literally have no cards on board here, so obviously these both dogs are going to go ahead and swing in. They're going to go ahead and use the Benedict Sage here to put a card back to the bottom of the deck, as well as get 5k and draw here. I'm gonna get attacked here. I wasn't paying attention because I was talking to chat, and I was just sort of wondering why these 2 guys went into the face up in the ride deck, but that's just because I'm dumb and I wasn't paying attention. So we're just going to go ahead and guard here, use the defensive war to bounce this back to hand. This is going to be, you know, 35, and then it's going to come back to my hand, and I'm going to use it again to guard for 25. The dog is going to retire itself. They're going to look at the top card of the deck, add 1 to hand, put 1 on the bottom, and they're going to swing in. I'm going to take the second attack, and it's actually going to be 28, and my hand is not really equipped to handle that as much, especially considering I already played a blitz order this turn. I'm going to go ahead and ride for free here, going to Draiandra, and this time actually remember to rest. Actually, never mind, I lied. I did not rest because I'm a bad player. We're going to go ahead and play 2 copies of the Golem, use both of them to use their soul to draw. We're going to get the Forbidodol Surrogate, which is kind of alright, but then we're going to play the Shinri here. We'll then remember to rest the Vanguard. Then we'll rest the Rearguard, who's going to give the 10k to our dragon, and that's going to attack from the back row. It's going to go to soul as our opponent guards it, and then we restand and give the front row 5k. They're not on grade 3 yet, so I'm going to go ahead and not be able to get 5k to both of my golems, or 10k total. And then we're going to go ahead and swing in here with the Vanguard here. We're going to check the order and get a crit here, so we can actually push our opponent to 4 and power up our column here, which is going to swing in for 38. They're going to go ahead and take that and go to 5. I'm not going to be able to use the Shinri here because I did not use a order, nor did my opponent only have 1 or less cards. That is the skill of the Shinri here, as you can see. They're going to go ahead and swing in here, get the horse here, swing in for a fat 28 to our Vanguard here. I'm going to go ahead and double intercept and use the defensive war in order to bounce one of the golems back to my hand so I can use the next turn in order to draw. Then they're going to swing in here with the Vanguard. This Luan here is going to be extremely precarious to take, you know, care of, because they have 2 Vanguard swings, and it's a Vanguard swing that doesn't actually lose drives either. So it's a very annoying Vanguard swing to try and guard, because then the armored version comes in and it has the plus 10k power and also has drive checks. However, the cards do go back to the bottom of the deck, but that doesn't mean if they don't check a trigger, you know, they don't get the effect. They actually do end up getting the effect. I'm going to go ahead and take 1 damage, thankfully, here, and then they're going to attack with the rearguard column, which I'm also going to take, and thankfully, it's not going to be anything that has a crit. They're going to go ahead and use the dog here to get some more advantage. I'm going to finally remember to Persona right here. Then we're going to call out our rear guards here from our soul. We're going to call Graya and Andra here. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to use the Forbidodol Surrogate or if I want to use the Drag Resonance Order. I decided to go for the Forbidodol instead of call out the grade 3 Draiandra support card. And then this common card, the Stoneheart Dragon I talked about earlier, when it attacks, you can put a normal order from your draft back into soul and he gets 10k. So we do have the Zaxxas here, who's going to give 5k to our Andra and get 5k when Andra attacks, so that was a 30k attack. Then we're going to go ahead and put them to soul, get the front row plus 10k, and then attack here for 33. We're going to be able to check a trigger, and then use the Stonehead Dragon to swing in here for 53, but opponent is unfortunately going to be able to check the over trigger, as I said immediately as it was being checked. As long as it's not the over trigger, this should be game. I should have attacked with this column, and that would have not been game, but because of the fact that they managed to heal down last turn, so they would have still hit the over trigger, then gone to 5, and I still wouldn't have won, so it does not matter too much, but I would have been able to put more damage on them. I'm just going to swing into their rear and pass on that. I have a pretty okay hand here. They have a more sizable hand than they did before here. They're going to go ahead and use their Luan in order to get out the horse. Then they're going to go ahead and call out the Tetravolt here. And then they're just going to go into the Luan play here. They have the Persona right here, so it is going to be able to actually give the armored version a drive when it comes through. So this is 5 drive checks we have to deal with this turn. I took a pretty long moment to decide how to guard this attack. Thankfully, I ended up to no guard, and I ended up checking a heal trigger, which basically helps everything out because there was no way that I was going to be able to guard all of these attacks. They're actually going to swing with the Luan here and get a crit and actually put it on the Tetravolt here. Then they're going to use the Luan skill to go into the armored version and then be able to get drives thanks to the horse. But they're actually going to attack here with the Tetravolt Dragon, with the Tetravolt rear guard first. Had they not done this, I think I might have lost the game possibly, but this thing is going to swing in here for 45. I'm trying to think about what I can do here because I can either PG this attack and try and guard the Vanguard swing, or I can no guard the Vanguard swing. Instead, I decide here to hard guard the rear guard swing here. Then they're going to go ahead and use the skill here of the grade 1, the Benedict Sage, to get power and put stuff back and swing in with 56 and 3 drives. Thankfully, they do end up checking a crit as I PG'd, so I'm actually okay here. We're going to go into the Andra here. We don't have the Persona right, but we do have the Dragon Essence Order, so now everything is full combo. We can go ahead and give our Dragon plus 5k thanks to the Zaxxas here, who's also going to get 5k when the Andra attacks. They both go to Soul and get plus 10k. Then the Order is going to give my front row another plus 10k, and also my Shinobi is actually going to be able to activate. We're going to go ahead and swing in as they get the PG here to guard, but I'm going to check a crit, which I'm going to put on my Zaxxas. Then attack with the Stout Heart with 53, and then finally this huge column of 56 to end up finally beating our opponent, who did not have enough cards to guard this turn. And that is going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this first look at Draiandra. I really like the deck. I'm really looking forward to it. I really like Luan as well, and they're kind of in the same vein. So I will definitely be playing both these decks in the future. Let me know in the comments below what you think about both of these decks. And till next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Play Vanguard and have yourselves a damn good one.